संस्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। पवित्रं चरितं यस्याः पवित्रं जीवनं तथा पवित्रता स्वरूपिण्यै तस्यै कुर्मो नमो नमः। नमः श्री यतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे। ओम सर्वमंगलमांगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते। We are into the last chapter of the Karma Yoga, freedom. Last Sunday we could not have the class because I was in North Karnataka, not here. The thing, if you see, they have a lot of devotion towards Swami, but they will not feel what you need. They are highly devoted, North Karnataka, but they will not see to it what you need. The program was supposed to end by 1. It ended at 3:15. And then maybe 500 people have gathered. All the 500, they have to touch the feet of Swami and do pranam, otherwise they will not leave you. I have started early in the morning. For me, it's 5 hours journey one side. And then again, I have not yet taken food. It's already 3:30. Whole day program. And 2 more programs after that. When I have to reach Bangalore. But still they were so much happy, waiting, making the Swami to wait. It's their devotion, the way of their expression, of course, what to do. So they will make you wait, they do pranams, and then they allow you to go to take food. Then from there, there was one more small satsanga. After, by the time I reached Shivnalli, it was midnight, 12:30. So they, of course, everywhere, still, my Gurudev used to tell so many times, one of you may like it, you may not like it, but that is the way Revered Mangalanathanandaji Maharaj style. One of my, I cannot say batchmate, it's not, the term is not used for Swami, but we were together in Ponnampet. So he had the idea to do Purushcharana of the Ishta Mantra. And he selected a place and then he went there. It would have been better if he had selected and started that Purushcharana. Please be seated there only, don't come forward. Amma in the pakam. If you are coming for the first time, you should sit at the back, not to disturb the other audience. So, then always remember, if you ask something from a guru, you cannot deviate from what he has said. Until that time, if you are following your intuition, that's okay. But if you ask and don't do, it will create lot of problems in later life. So you know what Maharaj will say. But still, he wrote a letter to Maharaj and said, Maharaj, I am doing Purushcharana. Please bless me. He was his Diksha Guru. Please bless me. Generally, I don't ask such questions to my Guru. Please bless me. Then Maharaj wrote back, this is not the time to do Purushcharana. This is the time to study Swami Vivekananda. You study Swami Vivekananda better. Don't do Purushcharana. He very much wrote, don't do Purushcharana. You read the works of Swami Vivekananda. That is his style. That is his way. But still, this brahmachari continued Purushcharana. Now, he is not in the order. Of course, staying here or outside is not a problem. Anybody can outside stay, do tapasya, no problem. I also agree. If somebody is serious, I personally don't recommend. If you are too serious, don't be in an organization. If you don't like the setup of an organization, I do agree openly. But he lost his balance also, mental balance. So that's why you should not ask If you ask, follow it literally, not just the summary. Follow it literally. Otherwise, don't ask and don't ask for any suggestion. That was the way Maharaj used to tell. In the same way, still so many rituals are they are so much after rituals. But what about the Vyakti, the person who is sitting in front of you? So why do you? Of course, you have all the reverence. But from my personal side, why do you so much revere, do a pranam to Swami? You do. It's all my way. Be free, ऐसा कर दीजिए हो जाएगा. So what is important is the Atman that is inside. For all reverence, you do. I am not against telling you. So many things comes by tradition. Sadhu ko pranam karna hai, theek hai. So that itself should not become a ritual and make him sit on a stage with all a chair, pranam is set up and then some announcement and all those things. It's not to my personal liking. Of course, Sri Ramakrishna, the more you say, Sri Ramakrishna will make you sit there and do it. That is his way of testing. But anyhow, I have to express. Because I remember, because we are going to start this Karma Yoga, so much into this mode of rituals. Even 3 days back, I had been to Harihara. They had organized 3 lectures. Morning 2 colleges, evening 1 satsanga, and then 9:30 I was really... 10 o'clock it started till 9 p.m. 10 to 9 p.m. 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. my routine. Then I have only less time, so they will take maximum advantage of the Swami who has come there as a guest. 9 p.m. release, came to Davangere, morning 4:45 left Davangere, 8:45 Shivanelli. So there also, in one, even after speaking, etc., there in the girls' college, they are also devoted. They all, whole college students were eager to do pranam. I said, Babre, you be seated. Don't come to me, near me. Hear and do what Swamiji has told and what I have conveyed. No this saluting business. No, please don't do it. Because now Swamiji will begin. We have to understand there is something beyond all these things. Okay, have inner reverence and do whatever is required, but don't have too much of ritualistic. Rituals are necessary, but don't have a ritualistic approach too much. Without, you can have all rituals if you have the purity of mind, if you have non-attachment. If you don't have non-attachment and purity and be too much ritualistic, it will not take us anywhere. So be pure, be non-attached, no ego, Swami or householder, anybody, inner, there are some swabhava. The person will act in the same way. You may not understand. Apart from swabhava, what is his inner core? Is he pure? Is he unattached? Then, that's important. That's why, too much if you go, still so the Swamiji ideas is yet, I think many things should be understood. So, coming to Swamiji, when he started the idea of freedom, Swamiji said, this universe is under the law of causation. So, transcending this law of causation is what we mean by freedom. What is transcending law of causation? Is transcending the mind, because the mind is under time, space and causation. Transcending mind is freedom. So, with this idea, Swamiji started to elaborate the idea. And why should you transcend, in the sense, why should we transcend the mind? Because what the mind perceives this universe is just a speck in that infinite being. You cannot say being, okay. With respect to that infinity, this whole universe, not just this earth, whole universe, the existence, the manifested existence. What you say the universe is just a speck in that infinity. So, it would all be childish to hold on to anything in this world as Trishna, Tanna, etc., which Swamiji has explained. I also try to elaborate. With this idea, Swamiji started giving two paths. How to transcend the mind to gain freedom. One is through Neti Neti Marga, and the second one is the Iti Iti Marga. Neti Marga is giving, sannyasa, complete sannyasa. Iti is holding on to karma and then transcending the karma at the end. Not staying at karma, holding on to karma and then transcending the karma. What's the word that Swamiji used here is making use of all the bondages is the word that Swamiji uses here. Making use of all the bondages themselves to break those very bondages. You make use. We feel that we are bound. Is it not? We feel that we have a kartavya, duty. We feel we are bound to this society and XYZ. So take those very bondages to break the semi-bare bondages. That's the way Swamiji uses the word. Making use of all the bondages themselves to break those very bondages. A very wonderful way of expressing things. Till this time, till this idea we had discussed. Now to continue, Swamiji still more explains this. Now he takes up this karma yoga and started. The former is the Gnana yoga that we will not discuss here because Swamiji is focusing on karma yoga. Gnana yoga we have to see in the Gnana Marga. Now taking this karma marga, Swamiji says, only those who are perfectly satisfied. Why I am reading this is because this comes from Bhagavad Gita. Swamiji is quoting from Bhagavad Gita. Only those who are perfectly satisfied with the self, whose desires do not go beyond the self, whose mind never strays out of the self, to whom the self is all in all, only those do not work. Apart from them, everybody has to work. So, this satisfied with self, whose desire does not go beyond self, etc., you will get one. There is few shlokas connected with this idea in Bhagavad Gita. I will quote one in the 3rd chapter. Yastu atmaratireva syat atmatuptascha manavaha atmannaiva cha santushtaha tasya karyam na vidyate. Tasya karyam na vidyate. Kasya karyam na vidyate? Yasya atmaratihi atmatuptascha atmanneva cha santushtaha. Tasya karyam na vidyate. Means, what do you mean by one who is atmarati, one who is atmatripta, one is atmasantushta? For him there is no work. Apart from them, everybody has to work. Here I want to clarify, your work may be of meditation, meditative work, japa work, bhajan work, steady work, that also work. Because there is subject-object relationship. You feel that I am reading, I am doing japa, I am doing bhajan, I am meditating. When you have the subject-object relationship, that is also karma. So you don't feel that then every atmatuptasya manavaha, then don't start any new karma. Don't get bound again. Your karma can, if somebody has a profession and already involved and his yoga is to do dynamic work in the society, let him do. But what do you mean by work? Wherever there is subject-object relationship, that is called karma. There is a relationship. Even while meditating, while doing japa, by sadhyaya and everything, even Sri Ramakrishna says, even your soham bhava is also work, karma. Because it is I who is thinking that I am not the Atman. It is the mind thinking, not an experience. Even the idea that thinking that I am Soham is also karma. So, you can take all those ideas. So, here Atma Ratihi means Atmani eva Ratihi. Atmani, one who delights in Atman. But ordinarily what happens, one who delights in the objects of the senses cannot be Atma Rati. So, our Bhagavan Shankara says, Vishayeshu na ratihi yasya saha Atma Ratihi. Not in the Vishaya. What do you mean by Atma Tripta? One who is contentment in the Atman. Na anna rasadina. We are not here to satisfy the palate. He is Atma Tripta. And Atmanyeva Santushtaha. One who is satisfied with the Atman, he will never possess anything in this world. Neither a house, nor etc., etc., etc. Then you should not ask the Swamiji, where should we live in a rented house? It's for a joke. I didn't mean anything. There's a nice anecdote. It's not the time to narrate. Some other time will narrate. No, we are doing Karma Yoga. So, one who does not possess anything in this world will be a Atma Santushtaha. Here, one subtlety is there involved. This possession, sense objects, Anna Rasadina, all these are provided by the Prakriti. We don't grow, rise. We plow, but the Swabhava of the seed will sprout and give the rise. The fruits, the water, the air, everything is given by the Prakriti. So when we enjoy the Prakriti, it becomes our duty to give back what you have received. As long we have the idea, as long we feel we enjoy, in whatever extent, suppose you enjoy certain objects. Let us say you enjoy Apple iPhone, then you have the duty to give back to the world. Suppose you enjoy a nice lecture, your duty is to give it back in some way. Suppose you enjoy something in this world, till you have not found the enjoyment in the Atman, it becomes mandatory, our duty to give back in one or the other way to this Prakriti. If you take a bank loan on a particular day, they will issue a notice if you don't pay back your EMI. Is it not? If it is directly connected to your bank account, they will very sincerely detect. They might recredit your TDS, but they sincerely debit the account that has to be debited. So, that itself with a physical thing. When it comes to Prakriti, as long you enjoy this Prakriti in whatever way, it is our mandatory duty to give back what we have received. For anybody for that matter. Enjoy, you feel this food is so tasty, you are enjoying through the palate. Then it becomes duty to give it back in some other form. You enjoy a nice forest. Oh, what a beautiful scenery. Then you have enjoyed the sense of seeing, that aesthetic sense. Then give it back in some other form. You enjoy a certain book, reading the complete verse of Swami Vivekananda. Yes, then give it back in the form of educating regarding complete verse of Swami Vivekananda. As long you are not Atma Tripta, Atma Ratihi, Atma Santushtaha. Atma Tripta means you may give the tastiest food of the whole world, but still in the corner of his mind, there will be no idea that this food is tasty. Because he is Atma Triptaha. Completely beyond the idea of senses. There is no possession. These senses will never catch that person. Cannot. It cannot. He has gone beyond it. So he becomes Atma. He has already established in the state of Atmaratihi. He delights in the self, not in the objects of the senses. That's why when we, even in a subtle form, in a positive way, in a sattvika way, many enjoyments will be in sattvika way. Let us say, what is sattvika way, Swamiji? We conduct Ramakrishna Math every year conducts satsanga, is not? It's a positive engagement. It's an engagement only. I have my own definition. I don't tell you. If you ask me personally, I will tell you, not on YouTube. It's a positive engagement. You go to Belgaum for a 5 days Japa Yajna. It's a sattvika way of entertaining yourself. Not a tamasika way, but not a rajasika way. You are entertaining yourself, otherwise you will not go all the way to Belgaum, spend 5 days. It is a sattvika way of enjoying this Prakriti. If you want to transcend, then give it back. You have gone there, stayed there for 5 days and enjoyed the atmosphere, then it becomes, you are not still Atma Truptaha, Atma Ratihi, Atma Santushtaha. Not. So we are all at the stage of enjoying this Prakriti in a Sattvika way, in a Sattvic way. So it becomes mandatory to give back to the world. Otherwise, this world will make you to give back. You will get, suppose you are not given back properly, then you will be giving back in the form of purchasing medicines. Just for a joke. It happens. You are not given back, you are supposed to give, you will be reimbursing some doctor for that matter. One of the example. Suppose you are not reimbursed, you will be held up in some legal issue where you will be giving that lawyer every month so many rupees, etc. In one or the other way, we will be caught in giving back. If we don't give it intentionally, purposefully for an higher ideal, then the world will force you to give. All this is really an experience. If you experience, you will really understand this. You would have experienced it, but not experienced from the standpoint of this idea. That's why, what do you mean by Atmarati, Atmatupta, Atmasantushta means, as long you are in any, even in a subtler way, enjoying this Prakriti, then it becomes our duty to give back until you are Atmatripta. You don't find anything in this world which is more delightful than the Atman, no contentment than the Atman, more satisfied than the Atman. Nothing. It is Purana Pramana Vairagya. Janaka, he was the greatest king. Nothing, no delight in being a king, wearing the crown, having a luxurious life. No delight. Because he is Atmasaptaha. Buddha, of course, as a king he was not Buddha. He was Siddhartha. He was Siddhartha transformed into Buddha after Nirvana. When he was in Nirvana, he didn't possess anything. He possessed the highest thing. Of course, he came back, then his son and Rahula and his wife Yashoda, they became sannyasis, is it not? They came and mother says, ask your father, the leaguer heir, you are the possessor of his legacy, ask him your share. Then the boys will come and ask, Father, what have you given me? Then he gives a saffron crown, this is my treasure, you can wear it. It comes in a life story. So when one is Atma Triptaha, you read, if possible, Light of Yasha. Swami also quotes that book. It's a very wonderful, it's very small, you can read it in half an hour. The Light of Yasha. So here, Atmarati, Atmatupta, Atmasantushtaha. Till we attain that state, everybody has to work. No other way. No other go. So, that's why Swamiji says, though we were in freedom, he gives the example of a whirlpool, Suli. In a stream where there is a high current, water current, gushing through that, suppose it meets in the midway, it meets a rock, it makes a whirlpool. The same stream of water get caught in that whirlpool, circles for some time, and then again gets freedom and moves back to the stream. In the same way, Swamiji says, we are caught up in this world of whirlpool for some time. We were free, we will be free. At a momentary stage, we are feeling as though we are caught, really not caught. To go out through that, that's what Swamiji says, man's experience in the world is to enable him to get out of this whirlpool. Why we are experiencing so many things? To make you to go out. You say, this politics is so bad, Swamiji, then you will stay for longer time. It is there, it will be like that only. In India, it will have some form, America will have some form, England will have some other form. Here people are great, their society is great. Here religion is great, there something, politics may be great. Somewhere something else. Then if you are disturbed, those are all the facts that are in the world. But if you are disturbed by the state of the society, then you have to come many times to this world, because you have not found out the way to go out. Because these experiences are there for the man to go out this whirlpool, not to be caught. Swamiji says, man's experience in the world is to enable him to get out of this whirlpool. Now he takes up what is Karma Yoga. Already he has explained all these things. More or less, now he brings a little bit of the summary of non-attachment is complete self-obligation, the last chapter. Swamiji again says, what do you Karma Yoga? The knowledge of the secret of work. He has proposed it. Again he is repeating this idea. So, it's a secret of work. You see, the whole world is working. Swamiji asks why. Whole world, in the whole universe, you see, everything is working. Why? For salvation. This sun, earth, moon, everything is in a state to attain freedom. Because of that centrifugal and centripetal force, it is there where it is to be there. Otherwise, they are ready to move out for the sake of freedom. Everything is moving towards freedom. We are also. So, what happens with this Karma Yoga? After a long delay and thrashing, getting to know things as they are, we learn from Karma Yoga the secret of work, the method of work, the organizing power of work. I will read a little bit and then try to explain. One important aspect of this Karma Yoga is, any amount of book reading will not be of any help when we work. It will help you to have a mental state. But it is not to be taken as granted that as we have read Karma Yoga of Swami Vivekananda, we will be able to do Karma Yoga. There is no bounding like that. For Karma Yoga, you have to do karma, get experience, be aware, and then transcend. No other way. For at least you think, let us say you are very much interested in Shastra Charcha, Vakyavriti, etc. You Padacheda, so many things. Annaya Vyatireka, so much you are interested. Vedanta Paribhasha, Pramana Paricheda, Pramana Vichara, Paramana Vichara, so many Vicharas are there. You are all highly interested, let us say. I also enjoyed in one time reading all those things. So, you go on reading. And if you enjoy reading, you will be completely immersed in reading. But, just because we think and do vichara that I am Atman, I am not this Sharira, I am not so, etc., so I am Atma. We do vichara also, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. So, it's all mental disciplines, or it's a way of thinking mentally or intellectually. And finally, if somebody asks, is your ego abnegated? Is your ego abnegated after doing so much Shastra? You have to come to work field and find out. We cannot guarantee it. Just because somebody is doing Shastra, you can do whole day reading Shravana Mantra, Jijasana, Dhyanam, Japam, Shravanam, and then Archanam, everything. But, and you may feel elated, you may have experience. It's quite natural and it's all the way possible for anybody. If you are sincere and follow a particular Archana method, like Sri Chakra Aradhana, etc., follow a method for particular years, definitely you will end up with some experience. Quite natural. It's very much possible. I just don't say possible. It's very much possible. But still, when you say transcending the mind, then the very question comes, it is in Karma Yoga alone where you have to get all the experience doing karma in the field of action. You may read n number of books, will not no avail, no help. Your ego comes in front of you, all your mental distractions. Any problem that mind faces will be reflected in all our karma. You are too disturbed, all your work will be disturbance. If you are too disturbed, you will disturb your colleagues. If you are too disturbed, you will disturb the organization, you will disturb your colleagues, you will disturb the system, you will disturb everything. You observe, the day you are very serene, you will not disturb anybody. The day the mind is disturbed, whole family is disturbed, your organization, etc., the place we work is disturbed. So no amount of reading will not, it only a philosophical idea which gives an idea of work and an ideal to be reached, and the practice should happen in the field of action. No way out. We may hear lectures, but until unless you come to the field of action, Karma Yoga will never begin. So that's why Swamiji says, it takes a longer time. It's after a longer delay and thrashing, getting to know things as they are. We learn from Karma Yoga the secret of work, the method of work, the organizing power of work. It takes a lot of time. So that's why Swamiji concludes, Karma Yoga makes a science of work. It's not just work. Karma Yoga is science of work. Means you will know the complete idea. First, work is inevitable, but it should be done for a highest purpose. As we know, except Atmatrupta, Atmarati, everybody has to work. Since work is inevitable, but do it for a highest purpose. And then, you have to go beyond this world. We are not going to stay here. So, the end is the freedom, work is inevitable, and do it for a highest purpose. The first point, the first idea. Now, Swamiji continues this explanation. Now, Swamiji says, what does it say? What does Karma Yoga says? This is a famous idea that already explained, but still Swamiji brings up the same idea again. Now we have to read for the sake of continuity. Work incessantly, but give up all attachment to work. This is a famous idea in Karma Yoga. You cannot leave non-attachment, all attachment. These words are most common. Do not work incessantly, but give up all attachment to work. Okay. Do not identify yourself with anything. Hold your mind free. Hold your mind. Do not identify yourself with anything. Swamiji explains very nicely now. Hold your mind free. That is the greatest problem. Hold your mind free. And Swamiji says, misery comes through attachment, not through work. Misery comes through attachment and not through work. Generally, what happens is, anybody and everybody will always blame the work. Is it not? Why it's miserable? That very karma that I did, not the karma. Because dharma vyadha, you would have not got, if karma would have given all problem, then there would have not a dharma vyadha, who would have not given the dharma vyadha Gita. You will get in the Bhagavata, vyadha Gita. So, if that's why Swamiji says, misery comes through attachment and not through work. I remember one incident which happened in Pakistan, not in India. There are many such examples, but just explaining that which came in between while reading this. There is one girl from, now she may be between 25 and 30. She may be 30 now. Munibha, her name is Munibha. She is from Baluchistan in Pakistan, which is now they are asking for a freedom as an independent country. Baluchistan should be separated from Pakistan. That fight is going on. So she is from that part of Pakistan. Of course, she is a topmost international girl. She has lot of problems. She has transcended all those things. Now she is top 30 inspiring woman in the whole world, according to Times and Forbes magazine. So, there was one incident. There was an attack by terrorists on a school. So, they have opened firing through AK-47 gun and have killed many young children, students attending the class. And one boy, I think his name is Ayub Khan, He was also injured. Fortunately, he survived. He did not die. He was admitted to the hospital. He had received 3 bullets on the face. One injuring his nose, completely deformed face, not a well-formed face. It is deformed face because it is with 3 bullets. And even he lost the sense of smelling because the bullet has entered his nose. Fortunately, it did not enter his brain. So he survived. He was in the hospital. I think the Pakistan government requested this Muniba, because she is an international woman, just to meet this Ayub Khan in the hospital to increase his moral or to give him self-confidence. He was a young boy of 12 or 13. So, this lady went all the way to the hospital and was conversing with that boy. After that, she saw Ayub Khan. His face was a little deformed, with swelling because of the bullet marks. And she thought, this boy may be in a depression because of these incidences. When she was thinking, that boy had a smartphone. He took the smartphone and requested Ayub, Muniba, can we have a selfie? Then she was thinking, how can he have a selfie? His face is a very deformed face, not a beautiful face to see. Then she thought he may feel pity, but still that boy insisted, we will have a selfie. Then that boy took a selfie with Muniba. Then out of curiosity she asked, are you not depressed having 3 bullets on your face and with a deformed face? You are just hardly 13 or 14. There are at least 60 years ahead of your life. How are you going to live? Then he said, I wear this scar on my face with a pride like a medal. Army men will have a medal on the chest. This boy answered that Muniba, I will wear this scar on my face with a pride like a medal. So keep your mind free, Swami says. Attachment did not come, misery did not come due to some incident. It happened due to attachment to the body. That boy did not read Vedanta, but he had that idea within. Is it not? He was not attached to his body. So he can give such wonderful expression to his idea. That I am not attached. So what? Let the word think that maybe in a longer line, as word says, no girl may marry him. On every first Sunday, we have a Dr. Lakshman Rao. He is a famous dermatologist, a skin doctor. So, minimum 100 patients for him on every first Sunday. Minimum 100. He sees all the 100. He does a little bit surgery also, because all women who have the problem of these patches, etc., they are more, because they say nobody will marry me. They have that problem, actually practical problem for the. You may think in those lines, but this boy, he says, let the world think what they may, but I will wear with pride. How this idea, Swami says, do not identify, it's not a joke. That's why karma yoga is a field of action. You prove there. Don't give theory, you prove it there. Do not identify with everything. Hold your mind free. That's what Swami says. Misery comes through attachment, not through work. In between, I had given one example of Swami Akhandananda Saraswati who met Bhikshu Shankarananda in Haridwar. I had narrated the story in my Leela Prasanga. So he used to travel all the way to Kankal. He was a great Brahmagnani, Bhikshu Shankarananda. So he got initiated into Advaita Vedanta, the Akhandananda Saraswati, through Bhikshu Shankarananda, is it not? So when he had went, on the way, he got a night train where he could not get a place to sit. And so he sat in a corner of a place in between the person who was sleeping. On the bed, he used to, in between, very often used to kick him in the sleep. And he was so much disappointed, why this fellow is kicking me so many times all through the night. He woke him up and asked him, sir, please sleep properly and sit on one side. I am also sitting here, beware. But once he is again into deep sleep, again he started kicking this Akhandananda Saraswati, before sannyasa, of course, earlier name. Then next day he was feeling disappointed. Arey sala, wo pura raat mujhko gada tha. He kicked me like a donkey all through the night. Then next day he went and he was still in the same mood. Morning he took a bath in the Ganga and went and met Bhikshu Shankarananda and narrated, Swami, what happened all night? That person was kicking me. Ota hona ita. That Bhikshu Shankarananda said, Ota hona ita. I said, hona ita. What, Swami, you are telling hona ita? Huh? Because you think that your body, he kicked your body, not you. He is a Brahmagnani. So, because you think you are a body, you are kicked, you accepted that kicking, is it not? If you have thought you are not the body, misery comes through, not through work, it comes through attachment. It's very difficult, of course, until unless we experience, nothing of this will happen. Experience karma yoga. Sorry. That's why Swamiji gives an illustration here. There are two pictures. Same painter has painted these two pictures. Same identical. And two people have purchased, and the picture is being burnt. Suppose if the picture belongs to somebody, not yourself, you witness that incident, that burning of the picture, you just watch the whole sequence as a witness. But the picture with you is being burnt, your heart burns. That's why Swamiji says, how miserable he feels. Why? Both were beautiful pictures, perhaps copies of the same original. But the misery comes through attachment and not through the work. So, now Swamiji says, when we have a sense of possession, we will end up having selfishness, and this selfishness will lead to misery. You possess, having idea of possession will lead to selfishness. This selfishness will lead to misery and slavishness. Who are slaves? One who is having a selfishness. Swarthi. Whenever the chitta says, I and mine, immediately puts a chain around us and makes us slaves. Whenever there is a vritti in the chitta, that is in the mind, that mine, I, immediately we are slaves. Or rather we are slaves, and hence this idea of I and mine comes. Swamiji bringing from other side. We are already here, so let us say we are already slaves, hence always your chitta vritti will be I and mine. So Swamiji says, do not even say, my child, your mind. Possess the child, but do not say mine. You remember the Dasi of Vachanaveda? Sri Ramakrishna's anecdote of Dasi there. You can possess the child, means your son or daughter, etc., aliya, sosia, so many things you say, son-in-law, daughter-in-law, father-in-law, brother-in-law, Ranganathan used to say, brother-in-law, mother-in-law. There is no law here. Ranganathan used to. There is no, somebody says, Maharaj, she is my daughter-in-law. Then Maharaj told, she is not your daughter-in-law, she is daughter-in-law. Use the word love, no law applies here. So Maharaj used to say. So all in-laws, laws, so you possess them, but never say mine and I. Maybe many daughter-in-laws may not possess in mother-in-law. They say they are not mine after a certain age. So Swamiji says, don't even say my house. Till this time, agreeable. He said, you possess the child, but say, not my child. You possess a house, but say, not my house. Agreeable. But Swamiji extends and say, do not even say, my body. He started with the idea which are objective. Your son or daughter is an object outside of yourself. And this house is an object outside of myself. How can you say this, my body is not my body? You cannot go outside of this body. Here comes the idea of Atmatruptaha, Atmanyeva Santushtaha, Atmaratihi. Because these bodies are coming and going by the laws of nature, but we are free, standing as witness. This body is no more free than a picture or a wall. This body is not free than a picture or a wall. This wall is not free. This body is also not free. So this is identical with the wall in the building. But this idea of going out of this body, that's why Purna Vairagya. When does Purna Vairagya? First you should understand Manda Vairagya and Purna Vairagya. What do you mean by Manda Vairagya? Like ourselves. You have a bit of Vairagya, not to be at home, not to be attached to your degrees and first rank, and then join Ramakrishna Mission or go to Haridwar, etc. Take sannyasa. But still there is an idea to take care of this body. You need a food at a particular time. You have the interest to do Shastra Charcha. There is not Atma Truptaha. Still you have something of this duty towards this body. There is some idea, not completely bereft of anything. Suppose one day doing Ekadasi, yes. Shivaratri, yes. But second day if you don't get food, then headache, disturbance, all this happens to this body. We seek some bhiksha somewhere. Oh, some bhiksha, अरे किसी साल कोई आकर देना तो अच्छा होगा, कोई नहीं है ऐसा. So all these ideas will come. So there is no Purna Vairagya. This is Manda Vairagya. Where does Purna Vairagya? Is completely, if he is a bhakta, he is completely free from any idea of taking care of, even he will not take a bath, he will not take care of this body in any sense. Purna Avadhuta. Sri Ramakrishna is totally different. Please don't bring Sri Ramakrishna. Don't remember here. I have a special place for him and special explanations for all him. Sri Ramakrishna Avatar, he used to wear a shirt with a shoe, chappal. It's something very wonderful. Of course, he cannot bring back the umbrella. Suppose he can unfold the from umbrella, but he cannot fold it back. Because his contraction is death for Sri Ramakrishna. He cannot wear the button on the shirt. He can wear the shirt, but cannot button the shirt. He feels he is losing the freedom. Sri Ramakrishna is totally exceptional. So, here, when we have a Purna Vairagya, then only this, we feel that this body is an instrument like a wall or a picture. Until that time, we have to hold on this to body, having a Manda Vairagya and proceed. There is no other go. But the thought every day, the problem, actually Swamiji brings this idea further. I have to read it afterwards. There are only few minutes left for us. The problem is, the whole idea of this attachment is in the mind. The way we are brought up, let us say, even medical science accepts to a certain extent. Let us say, you need food 3 times a day. There is no rule that you need 3 times a food. It's a general rule. And if you are many doctors also, they are switching to 2 times a day. Switching to food 2 times a day. Early morning, if they are a surgeon, early mornings they will do surgery. By 9-10 o'clock they will have a food. Whole day they will be busy with their clinic, etc., outpatients. Evening they will have food. Those 2 days. Recently I met 3-4 doctors. So, Swamiji, we are coming back to old system. We are having 2 days. That is more very healthy condition for this body, having 2 days a meal. Earlier we had morning breakfast, afternoon food, evening tea, and then night food. So this habit of the body superimposed on the mind of the necessity will give the appetite to the stomach, will make you feel hungry. may not be necessary. So if you can practice for 10 days, not taking all these things, then body will ask only 2 times a day, not 4 times. This will happen with the sleep also, the sleep cycle. But it can happen with sleep only if you can free the mind from the world to certain extent. Otherwise, it's not possible. If some idea, some problem in the world affects your mind, then it will disturb your sleep cycle also. If you can withdraw the mind to certain extent, then you need less sleep. Otherwise, not possible. You may practice, you may get up early in the morning, etc. But still, your state of the mind, holding on to sattvika bhava, will happen only if you are able to withdraw the mind to certain extent, withdraw inside, without being affected by the external world. So all these things can help the mind in reducing your sleep, reducing your food, reducing the regular necessities, so-called necessities of the body. It all depends on the mind, how we train it. That itself is a subject by itself. So that's why Swamiji says, the possession, idea of possession, this idea of selfishness, all this is in the mind. We have been, in one sense, trained, or we ourselves are trained in that way. So we have to retrain the mind now. Go back, retrain, and then this idea that even this body is also not mine idea will start coming from as an intuition. It should start as an intuitive feeling, not an experience at the first beginning stage. It will you feel that oh, I am not the mind, I am not this body, neither a mind. It's an intuitive feeling. And even after you can feel to certain, suppose you have lived a family life, let us say for 20 years, 25 years. Definitely you will feel your daughter, you may not be attached to your son or daughter. Maybe when they are younger, you feel that you have to take care of them. After a certain age, your mind gets detached. Their life, they will look after what job I have in their family life. When they need a moral support, you may give, you may render. After a certain point, then you withdraw. Hey, I have to go to ashrama, I have bhajan, I have reading, you take care of yourself. You are not attached to your son or daughter or in-laws. Then even staying at your own house after all your possession, building nice house in a Jainagar or Basungudi, etc., having all good houses, after a certain amount, mind withdraws. Istena, and then your mind withdraws. But it will not withdraw from the body. So Swamiji started with the idea of the possession of the child. After certain experience in life, your mind, your attachment to your child withdraws. Attachment to father withdraws. Attachment to the building gets withdrawn. But it will not withdraw from the body. वो नहीं होता है, उतना जल्दी नहीं हो सकता है. It will not happen so easily until unless we are able to do karma yoga, try to do karma yoga, purify the mind a little bit. What is the indication of that purity in the mind? You will become humble. The extension, how do you know that the mind is pure? You will become pure. You don't feel your ego. You may shout. Necessity makes you to shout at a particular place. But inside, you will be the same calm person without being disturbed inside. So you will not feel the selfishness. These are all the indications of the purity of mind. Then this idea of the body will start dropping. You don't feel too much of the hankering for food, hankering for sleep, hankering for XYZ. These are all the indications of the purity of mind. When this happens, then you can start applying the idea that I am not this body. Or rather, I can say, follow these lines and this idea will follow after that. You sincerely follow the idea that you to withdraw from the work, from the possession. Then later it will lead to withdrawal of the mind from the body. With this, let us conclude, and then we have to begin again Karma Yoga in the first week of next month. And again, next Sunday I will not be here in Bangalore, I will be in Chennai. So next Sunday there will be no lecture on Leela Prasanga. On 23rd we will meet for Sri Ramakrishna Leela Prasanga. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.